What is up, everybody? What is up,
Hey,
Graham?
what's up, Brian? God, what's it been since we? How long has it been since we did a show? A week? I think it's only been a
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Just a
Well,
week, right?
it's been a minute, but it's all
Here
good.
we
We're
are.
getting ready to do show 99, everybody.
Show 99. My goodness.
I tell you
Wow.
what, it's amazing what my facial hair did just in the short
In
time since the last episode, right?
in just the 5 or 6 days it has been since we did a show, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I just
incredible.
want everybody to know there's been some organizational changes at
Mm,
week's end, and
mm.
I'm proud to say that now our co-host on the show here, Graham, has been promoted to senior director of Awesome Sauce, whereas I
Yes.
believe he was more of
Well, last week
an
I was just
intern.
junior. Yeah, I was just an
Well,
intern
I
last
think
week.
you were like an intern in the Awesome Sauce
Oh yeah,
command
I've been
program.
I was in this division.
Yeah,
I've been promoted to
yeah.
senior director. I
Well,
skipped
it takes a
manager, senior
while.
manager.
You gotta either to get up the ranks in OCP, it takes something.
Well,
Um,
I'm really proud to be here. The old man let me use the conference room today. Dick Jones, as you know, was thrown out a fucking window, so it doesn't even matter about him. And RoboCop's around here somewhere, although he goes by Murphy these days. But yeah, it's great. Whoa, it's great. There we go. Great. Holy moly, great to be here.
well, let's get into it. We got some topics. We're going to talk for about 10 topics over 25 minutes. Let's get into it. I
Yeah,
first,
let's do that because here at Week's End we cover all the great nerd news. So tell me
yeah,
about the
yeah.
Matrix of
Well,
25.
so the
25.
Matrix turned 25 years old in March, which I don't know if you remember this, but back in the year 99, the world was
So
about to
old.
end. The
Yes.
internet was going to, end
Some people think
all
it did end. This is
technology.
all a simulation.
Uh, and that is one of the theories. Maybe the simulation is what took over at that time. But anyhow,
It's possible.
there's been a sequel, a fourth film that came out a little while ago, and we talked about it on the show. But I still think the Matrix, the original, is still the OG for a lot of different reasons. I don't know how you feel about the film. What's your take on the Matrix after all this time?
Um, my take is that still that the original, the first film, is a groundbreaking piece of cinematography and cinematic action. A lot of
Sinister.
cinna in that movie. Yeah, I think it's great. I still love them. I have issues with the sequels, but I enjoyed
Let's
them.
not talk about those as if they didn't exist.
The latest one, I got to tell you, dude, I really enjoyed it.
I
I
did too.
enjoyed
I did
Resurrections, and
too.
now they're
Yeah,
working on another one. I'm all for it.
I am too.
Um, I know people had all kinds of issues with it, but I thought I guess my take is like I don't know what else they would do. Like that seemed to be the only natural progression for it. So
Yep.
I really enjoyed it, but I love the original. I make a point of watching it. I'd say about once a year.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah. And I would say there's also some cybers in there. So it's cyberpunk. It brought together
Yeah.
all these different genres that we love from comics and manga and anime and a bunch of other films as well. It drew from. So it's one of my favorites and definitely stands the test of time. I do want to call out that when you and I did our little video down in Austin last month, we met a bartender at the floppy disk repair company Speakeasy. The bartender's name was Trinity, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I got to tell you, all that did was prove to me that we're living in a simulation, and the
Yep.
way they tricked humanity into it was by showing us the Matrix, so we would think, oh, if this happens in a movie, it can't happen in reality. But really, what happened is we've all been taken into this
I
simulation. This
gotta
is
say
all
though,
fake. This is all fake, and that proved it.
Trinity was aware of the film but had never watched it, and she said that's the number one question she gets asked, of
Yeah,
course,
she was
is
not
yeah.
amused with either one of
No,
us. That
no,
was
especially
very
not,
clear to me.
official geeks as we are. Let's get into talking about Tron. So I
Okay,
know this is near and dear to your heart. What is going on in the
hold on,
Tron universe?
hold on. If we're going to talk about Tron,
Wardrobe change, everybody.
okay, yeah, wardrobe change. Oh, you can't see. I don't think it'll work on camera, but I'll try. But it
That's all
does.
right. It
It
looks
does
pretty
light.
impressive though.
It
Oh,
does
is it?
light up. Oh, it lit
Ooh,
up. Well, you can't
nice.
really tell.
That's
Anyway,
all right.
okay. So I am as all of you weeksenders who have been watching this show religiously every week for years know. I am wild about Tron, and um, love the original, love the sequel. Got into the cartoon for a little while. Excuse me, animated series Uprising, I think it's called. Loved it. Um, but I'm obsessed with Tron. I just think it's the best. To me, Tron and the figure of Kevin Flynn is about as close as I'm ever going to get to religion. So that's what it is for me. Now they
Interesting.
are working on a sequel. In fact, they are just getting ready to wrap filming. They may have wrapped already. Called Tron Ares. Um, I believe it was filmed in Vancouver. It is starring Jared Leto and a bunch of other people. I'm a little concerned about it. It seems to be more about bringing the programs into the real world. And uh, look, that's not what we want. We just want to be on
You're
the
all
grid
trying to
for two
imagine the
hours, right?
computer world. What would it
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like
yeah.
to be in there, like
Yeah,
as a
we just want to go back.
program?
We just want to go back to the grid. So
Yeah.
why they are doing that? But I want to continue to have faith that this will be a good movie. So there's a new Tron coming. So get ready to fight for the users there,
Yes.
programs, because
For the
they're going
users
to need it. So
always.
I'm excited about Tron Ares. And now, one last thing about Tron Ares.
Yeah.
If you Google Tron Ares, you will see an image from the movie, and it's one of the characters, presumably Ares, and it's kind of shot from the back, right? So you sort of see the back. You see
Yep.
there
Yep.
they've got this triangular disc on their back. If you
Triangular.
zoom in,
Okay.
oh yeah, which is very interesting. If you
Everything's
zoom
different.
in and you look at the top of that disc very closely, there's a very
It says
important
in
Easter
like
egg.
Flynn. Is that? Oh wait, that's
No,
a different. That's a different
I'm
one.
not gonna tell you
Okay. All
because
right.
I want all these
It is for all of
thousands
you to either
and
Google, or
thousands of
if
viewers
you're
to go find it.
if you're using a meta product, you might be asking an AI what it means. I don't know.
Oh,
Um, let's
fascinating.
talk about retro gaming for a second. So,
Okay.
since our last episode, I've
Hold on, I'm gonna
gotten
de-costume. Okay.
to go
All
to
right,
some of
I'm ready.
these. There's a bunch of like pop up events and festivals and markets that are happening all around Raleigh. And I just wanted to give a shout out because I've done a couple of videos for these folks, and put them out as, just fun little behind the scenes videos with some of the nerds and some of the musicians that have performed at these events. But it's an awesome community that's built around retro games. Graham, you would love it. It's basically a marketplace. It's usually around a brewery or has live music or something of that nature. And they're having these like every couple of months now, and it's really become like a fixture in my nerdy social scene. So
That's awesome,
really
dude. That
cool
sounds like
stuff.
so much fun. I don't really like video games. I feel that they lead
No?
to a life full of violence and questionable decisions.
Oh,
So I don't really
hmm,
play video games. No, I don't like
okay.
them.
Well,
No.
I guess you could call that a sort of religion. Okay. Um,
Are
anyhow,
you kidding me? I love video games. I would love that. That would be so much fun.
the next one, they had a pop-up market last week in North Raleigh. They're going to have the next one. They're going to have a complete full block takeover downtown Raleigh in
So
June, which is
what
I
are we
think is one of
talking
their
about
bigger
here?
events.
Are you talking about like cabinet, like arcade cabinets, arcade games, or are you
No,
talking
no, no.
like consoles?
It is old. So imagine, vendors that have all the different cassettes and console kind of peripherals and any kind of thing you could imagine for Atari, Sega, NES, any system you could imagine. It's basically like it's not a black market, but there's sort of like vendors that have brick and mortar stores, but there's also just a bunch of random people that are just vendors on the internet, and they bring their stuff out there and set up a
I love it.
table, and they have
I love
crates
it.
full of stuff, and it's just
I love it.
treasures abound. I
That would
actually,
just
so
be a
what I
blast.
bought this past weekend was a pristine PlayStation 1 game of the Star Wars Dark Forces game. Do you remember that? It was basically
Of
the
course.
Doom version of Star Wars.
Yes.
So I'm looking
Yes.
forward to playing that
Come
again
get
because I think
some.
I think they remastered it for PS5.
Mm. I've been playing a lot of well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about PS5. That's the
I got
perfect
a
segue.
PS5. Oh, I'm so
Nice.
excited. I'm so excited we're talking about
Nice.
this. Yeah, so I got a PS5 and the first game I played on it, first game I played on my PS5 with its incredible processors and memory and all its power and ability to do incredible things with graphics and blow your mind away, I played the original Doom.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
See, we're
And
we're
after that,
simpatico. Look at us.
And
Playing the
after
same
that,
stuff.
I played the original Jet Moto 2 from PS1, and which they
Nice.
totally upscaled.
Nice.
And oh my god, it was great. But I've also been playing a lot of other games too, and I got to tell you,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. So I'm looking. We're kind of looking at all sorts of different
Well, you know
options
what?
for games,
You know what I'm gonna
and
do?
I love it.
Should
Playing
we?
RoboCop Rogue City, really enjoying
Yeah,
that.
that's a good one.
Yeah, Peter
You know what?
Weller's in it.
Something we should do here, I think, is we should put our gamer tags. I don't know. I want to be your friend, and we could play each other, but we might want to open that up for others. We'll see.
I like that
Um,
idea. I like that.
let's talk about comic books. Um, so, in my loneliness and despair,
Yes, yes.
since you and I don't work together anymore, I've had to just devote myself to reading and to fantasy worlds, and I've actually branched out into new kinds of comics, and I know you have too, so I want to hear about it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Mhm.
I've recovered some comics again,
Nice. What do you
whether
got?
it is Mirage Studios or old Gizmo comics for my
Ooh,
bros.
interesting.
I have found them and I brought them all home. Okay, here's one. So, my horrible, evil, terrible older sister, as I've complained about on this show several times,
Yeah.
did something awful about, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Oh boy. I think
She
I know how this
sold
goes.
all of my comics
Oh my gosh.
and my original computer and Transformers and GI Joes and all kinds of stuff, which would now no doubt all be worth millions, possibly billions.
Possibly.
Possibly. She sold them all
In
at
today's
no
dollars, of
profit for
course.
like
Yeah.
a quarter. And I was so depressed. But one of my favorite comics I ever had, because I grew up in Northampton, Massachusetts, where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a big deal because Mirage Studios was there. I was able to recover my favorite comic, Teenage Mutant Ninja
Oh,
Turtles number
wow.
7, an
Nice.
original first edition print of
Nice.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 7. Of course, it's in a special, well, it's just plastic. But the thing
Yeah.
is I read it. It's just as good now as it
You know what? I
always
got
was.
something to show you. You keep talking about your recovered comics. I'll be right back.
Yeah, man. And so, look, it's part of it is just around like having them again. It's like being reunited with old friends, but also man, I just love the way they. Oh, you can't really see. I love the way they look. Like that's a tattoo waiting to happen. Are you kidding me? Rom Space Knight. I love Rom Power Pack. Why have they not made this into a movie? I don't understand. It's about a bunch of kids whose parents died horribly, and they were so traumatized that it kicked them into having these crazy mutant powers. It's a fucking movie waiting to happen. And then there's Gizmo. Most people don't. Actually, you got to see the first one. Most people don't know about Gizmo. This is a really cool comic that I loved when I was a kid because I picked it up for like a quarter at Mirage Studios. Oh, it was fun. And then there's Gobbledygook. This one was kind of hard to find. This is issue
Interesting.
number 1.
I
This
don't know
is
about
like
these things. I like this.
well, Gobbledygook was like what Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird and their friends did when they were
Oh,
not working on Turtles. They would just like test
gotcha.
lots of
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things, but they would also bring in like different ways to draw the turtles or all kinds of different stories. There's one called the Cola Wars where it's about like a world war, a horrible war between like Coke and Pepsi.
So do
Oh,
you
look
know
what
about
you
this?
got. I do know about
So
that.
I have this
Wow.
whole series now,
Whoa.
which it wrapped up a
Whoa.
little while ago, but guess what? There's a Last Ronin Part 2 that just came out last month. This
I love it.
series, the little limited series just started
I,
last month, and I just picked up
I
the
love it.
first issue last week in my at my local comic shop.
So
Um,
look, folks, here's the moral of this segment.
yeah,
Go out there and find your comics. Like if
yeah,
you had comics or toys or
it's a good
anything
point.
as a kid, like look, you can find all of it. Like eBay is your parents' attic on an incredible amount of steroids. Like everything is there. Now, I will admit, some things I am comfortable eBaying or interneting. Other
Yeah.
things like I really love to just discover. Like I'm sure Travis, if you're watching, I will not eBay a Generation One Transformers Jetfire. I
Oh,
will
of course,
I,
no.
I will find it, and I will find it someday. But anyway, that's enough of my.
Well, look at
Jones.
this. I just want to go rapid fire and show you a couple things you might be into that others
Oh,
might be into as well.
oh,
But
I'm
Robert, do
paying
you remember
attention.
Robert Kirkman, the guy behind
Yes,
Walking Dead,
yes,
right?
yes,
He has a
yes.
new book called Void Rivals, and it's set
Ooh.
in space. It has a very
Oh,
so there's aliens and robots and
I like
things.
that. Yeah,
It's not zombies, but it's very cool.
I like it.
I've been very much a Marvel DC guy traditionally when I was younger. Batman, X-Men, Wolverine, that kind of stuff. But I've just
Mhm.
decided I'm not going to do mainstream. So I've been looking at horror comics. So I picked up this adaptation of Anne
Oh,
Rice's
interesting.
Bones
Interesting.
back issues. The guy that
Interesting.
originally created the 30 Days of Night. So you may know the film, but most people may not have known that was actually based on a graphic novel made by Ben Templesmith from the UK. He has a new book about uh, this really cool. It's almost like if you imagine the Northman film as a comic book.
Oh, love that
It's
film.
awesome. I
Oh,
met
you
him and
know.
he signed this, by the way. Um, and then this book that it's not new, but I've started reading it. It's called House of Slaughter, and I've just started to get into like who are the artists that are doing horror comics today,
That's
and who
really
are
cool, Rab.
and last but not least, I've been really getting into the
Nice.
aliens mindset. I collected the
Nice.
comics back in the day when I was younger.
LV
It's been
426, baby.
it's been sort of rejuvenated, and there's a lot of new books for aliens coming out, and
Love it.
they're pretty good. This is going to digress right into our next topic, which I just want to mention, which is,
Oh,
did you know tomorrow is Alien Day?
oh. LV
426.
426, baby.
So it might be today if we're actually releasing the program tomorrow, but uh, the 26th of April of every year is Alien Day. And guess what? I'm going to the theater tomorrow night to see the 45th anniversary release of Alien on the big screen. They're bringing it
That's
back.
because you're super cool. Of course you are. That's awesome, man. I love
And
that movie. I
not
prefer
only
the
that,
director's cut, by the way.
I do too. I do too. I like the extra stuff in there.
Yeah,
And
I
it,
do
it
too.
does expand on some stuff. There's a great guy on YouTube that runs a channel called Alien Theory who does even to this day weekly videos dissecting the alien universe, and he talked about some of that. The thing that I'm excited about though is they're going to show a never seen before exclusive peek at the new alien film called Alien Romulus that is coming out in August of this year, and
Oh, that's right.
they're going to have a little sit down interview between Ridley Scott and Fede Alvarez, who's the director of the new film. So
Nice.
I've got actually high hopes after seeing this, and I'm really excited to see the sneak peek.
That's really exciting. I want to just quickly reference something you mentioned a minute ago. You actually mentioned when you were talking about comics, you mentioned Wolverine. We don't
Yep.
have to go into a lot of detail about this, but
Yep.
one of the highlights of this insanely, unbelievably busy week that I've had was the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that came out.
Oh yeah.
Here's what I
Yeah.
did not have in my what year is it? 2024 bingo card.
Right.
I did not have that a Deadpool and Wolverine trailer would get me back into listening to Madonna.
Correct. Yeah. That's a good point.
That was
That is
so awesome. That trailer is one of the
Yep.
best trailers I've seen in a long time. That movie looks great. And my favorite part is when the camera just comes right in on Deadpool and he's like, let's fucking go. Like
Yep.
that. I was so pumped.
Yes. I'm so excited. We're gonna have to talk about this when it comes out.
Oh,
I like you did not have it in my bingo card either, and it's just amazing that these actors are given this creative freedom to like make this like
yeah.
revive from when they were last together in the movie that was called The Wolverine, and they had like
Yeah.
Deadpool at the end,
Yes.
and it was like
Yeah.
some weird mutant
Yeah.
thing. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. But I think Ryan Reynolds, to his credit, has gosh, talk about a reinvention, like and bringing it back to the original, right?
Totally. I mean, Deadpool is awesome. Deadpool 2 is awesome.
Yep.
Both of those movies are absolutely fantastic and infinitely rewatchable and just fun. And
Yes.
this new one just looks fan. I mean, I love Hugh Jackman to me is just a god
Yeah.
among men anyway, because he's such an incredible actor and musician and
So
performer,
how is
singer.
Hugh Jackman training, or is he got like the fountain of youth or something? It's almost like he's like,
It's you know what it is? It's rich
he
people drugs, baby. It's rich
I
people
guess
drugs.
so. I guess so.
It
I
is.
mean,
It is. It is.
it
You
must
know it
be.
is.
All right.
You know it
Well,
is.
let's talk about our next topic, which is gonna be
Oh, I don't really know. Oh, costume change.
Oh yeah, we got a
Hold
costume
on.
change. Oh wait, I guess I jumped the gun. All right, here we go. Now we're ready.
Hold on. I got to do it up too because it's got my name on it. Now, wait, here we
Oh
go.
my
Ready?
gosh,
Oh
this is
yeah.
amazing.
No, look, it's actually. Well, here it is. Sorry, it's actually got the patch, and
Oh
I
wow,
wore it to the
dude,
movie. And now I went
that
with
is
my first name because
yeah.
I don't.
No,
I'm
that's
not a
good.
fan of my last name. I like that, so I usually just wear it like this. So that's a little downplayed, you know. But yeah, yeah, I went
Nice.
and got the jacket. So let's talk about
That is
Ghostbusters
legit.
Frozen. Oh, it's legit. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's like a heavyweight, really good. It's legit. Um, Made by a apparently a small guy in Pakistan. But anyway, the point is that I I did not like this movie.
oh really?
Nope. And I love
Oh
Ghostbusters, and
yeah,
I like Ghostbusters, the original film, is one of my favorite movies of all time. Blew
yeah.
my mind away as a kid. You can't see, but I've got all my the art of movie books here, and there's one, two, three for Ghostbusters. So I mean, I love Ghostbusters, and I was okay with Ghostbusters 2. I had some issues with it. I actually didn't mind the 2016 Ghostbusters with all the girls. I thought that was a fun movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I enjoyed that one as well.
yeah, and I absolutely loved Ghostbusters Afterlife. I thought it was excellent and a lot of fun. And then I
Yep.
just think they went off the goddamn rails with Frozen Empire. Now they tried to make it like the real Ghostbusters, which was a cartoon when we were younger, which I also loved and
Yeah.
watched like crazy as a kid.
Oh yeah.
But I thought this one, it just went off the rails. Look, here's my summary point because I know we got to get to the rapid fire. Here's my summary point about Ghostbusters. Enough with the nostalgia. There it is. Enough with the old cast, enough with rehashing the same stuff. Like, I want to see Ghostbusters Chicago. I want to see Ghostbusters London. I want to see Ghostbusters Tokyo. I want to see different Ghostbusters. I want to see it franchised. I want to see different equipment, different ectomobiles. Like, we don't need to keep having the same people. It's like the same problem with Star Trek. I don't need Kirk and Spock every time I get into a starship. So anyway, I did not like Frozen Empire. There were parts of it I did like that I enjoyed, but I thought for most of it it was just garbage. And I'm hoping that it doesn't harm the franchise to the point that they can't make another one. Because if they get Jason Reitman back directing and they bring it back and they go somewhere else and do something else, I think it would be amazing. But they've got to get away from this cast and they've got to get away from the original Ghostbusters. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my
Well,
rant.
I think
I'll
this was
I'll,
the
I'll transition out of my costume.
this was the last shot for them. I think this was. I think this was
That's what they said about
well,
Afterlife.
but this was corporate synergy. They got all of them. They tried to tie it all together. So I agree. When you try
Yeah,
to
and
do
I'm
that,
not opposed to cameos or them
right,
like having to
right,
be consulted or like something happens and they've got to call Ray. Like I don't mind little cameos. That's fun. But like they're just
not team
overly
up.
dependent on it. Like just
Yeah,
stop. I want to see Ghostbusters in other places using different equipment and fighting different ghosts and under different storylines. Like none of us care if it's the same people, but they
yeah,
think that's what we want. It's not what we want. It's like Tron. I don't I don't want to see programs in the real world. Just take me to the grid. It's like Star Trek. I don't need Kirk and Spock. Just put me in a starship. It's Star Wars. It doesn't have to be a fucking Skywalker storyline. Just come on. All
yep.
right, I'm done. I'm done.
All right. I just want to bring
I'm
it
done.
back to some
Yeah, I'm done.
positivity.
I'm done.
I'm bringing it back to some positivity, and what I want to say is,
Whew, all right.
uh,
Oh boy.
we're the red and
Sports.
white from state, and we know we are the best. My green
I
screen.
love
Oh
sports ball.
no, sports
Look, the
ball.
Matrix
Anyhow,
has no tolerance for your sports ball.
you're right. You're right. It's all a facade. Anyhow, NC State went to the Final Four for the first time in 39 years.
Wow. So
So,
there's they have to
well,
they
let
have
me
to
take it back.
defeat four teams? No, they
They
have to
went
defeat
on
two
a
teams.
streak of having like a lopsided season where
Mm.
majority losses, right? And then they go into the ACC tournament and win 5 straight in a row. Win that, they go on to win a total of 9 going up into the yeah. And I know you're asleep now. So anyhow, it was a big deal in Raleigh. There was a lot of red and white and wolf
Oh,
pack screaming and whatnot. So,
Oh,
fun
ooh,
time.
sorry. You still talking sports? Because
Yep.
I lost you.
And then we lost to freaking Purdue. But
The
they
chicken
had,
company? Oh my God.
I know, right? And
Wow, I
then
didn't know that chickens play basketball. That's
you
now
might have
okay.
had,
Now I'm intrigued.
there might have
Now
been
I'm
some
intrigued.
proper use of hormones. I'm not sure.
Now I'm intrigued.
Anyhow, let's
Imagining a
talk
bunch of
about
North
our
Carolina
last
rednecks
topic of
playing
the
a bunch
day.
of chickens on sports ball. I'm intrigued.
RoboDoc.
RoboDoc. So here I am. I've got my Omni Consumer Products t-shirt on.
Yep.
I am in. I'm going to stand aside so you can all see it. I am in. Ryan, take me to
Oh,
full screen for a moment.
looks like a nice.
I am in the OCP Senior Executive Conference Room. As we all know, that table with the where am I pointing? No, this direction. With the Delta City model on it is where poor Mr. Kenny was killed by Ed 209. Okay, Ryan, join me back on stage. And I love RoboCop. Okay, I am obsessed with that movie. I love that movie. I love everything about it. But I never really knew much about the backstory, folks. If you're a fellow RoboHead, I don't know if that's a thing. I just made it
Is
up.
that a thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But if you
It could be.
are a fellow fan of Officer Murphy,
Yeah.
get to Amazon Prime as soon as you can. Was it Amazon Prime? Yeah, get to Amazon Prime and watch RoboDoc.
Yep.
It is a 4-part, I think 3 or 4-part documentary about the making of the movie. It is so awesome. Everybody, and I mean everybody, is in it. So it's
Yeah.
really, really cool. You learn tons of stuff. There's a couple of things that I thought were really funny. So one of the things was RoboCop was originally supposed to have his own like Batmobile kind of thing called the
Oh,
Turbo
right.
Cruiser.
Right.
And
Right.
I've seen the drawings of it, and they actually show it in the documentary, and it was awesome. And they went through artistic design, production. They built it. They had it ready to go. They brought it to the set. Peter Weller in the suit couldn't get in and out of it, so they had to scrap the idea, which I
Yeah,
thought was
was it a heavily modified Ford Taurus? Or
no. So what happened was no, it was this like crazy looking thing. It was
okay.
really super cool. And you could argue whether or not it was a blessing in disguise that it didn't work. I think it would have been cool. But anyway, it looked more like the SUX 9000 or 6000, whatever it is.
Sure. Sure.
And so they ended up just being like, well, this isn't going to work. Well, now we need a car that looks somewhat futuristic, but yet a little grungy. The only car at the time that they thought, which is funny now to say it, that they thought looked a little futuristic was the Ford Taurus because it was round and everything else at that
Of
time was
course.
all
Right.
square.
Yeah.
But anyway, get to the other story is the scene where the guy's in his house and he's got the models at
Yep.
his house and they're hanging out and Bodiger comes in and kills him.
The executive. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't believe I'm blanking on all these names right now. It's one of those weeks. But
That's the
anyway,
way of the show. We
it's the
cannot
way of the
remember
show.
names.
Doesn't matter. There's a great scene in there where Clarence Bodiger says, "Bitches leave." Now, what's really funny is Paul Verhoeven, the director, is from the Netherlands, and his English was not that good. And so they reveal, and they're all laughing about it. And it's actually the women who are in the scene that tell this story, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Paul Verhoeven didn't know that bitches was a negative term. So he was going around the set. It was just like, okay, bitches, come to the set, please. Oh, bitches, you're doing a great job. Like he didn't know. And they all thought it was so funny that nobody corrected him. And he didn't know till later. And he was absolutely humiliated.
I
And
bet.
what's wonderful about RoboDoc, besides learning all this stuff and seeing all the actors, and Nancy Allen looks amazing, and Peter Weller looks great. I mean, it's so great to see them all again. Is they're all the sweetest, kindest, most wonderful people, including all the bad guys. So it's great to
Yeah.
see them as these really nice, funny people. But apparently, the movie was horrible to make.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to you to go see it.
Okay.
I will give you the recommendation that if you watch it, you should watch it with a box of Oreos cookies. It'll make sense when you watch it. And
Strange.
for
Okay.
God's sakes, RoboHeads, get out there and give a little heads up to Officer Murphy and have fun watching RoboDoc
All
on
right.
Amazon Prime. Is that
Shameless
it?
plug. That is it, baby. Episode
Wow.
number 99 in the can.
Wow. After 1 week, this was all we had. That's amazing.
Tell you what, this is just getting easier and easier. I tell you, it's all.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's because we're amazing. I mean, we're so
We
good at
are
this. I
amazing.
mean, Just when I think it can't get any easier, right? I mean, you
Bum,
just make
bum,
it
bum.
you make it all so easy for us, Ryan, because you're
I
so
know. I
talented and
know.
wonderful with your little
Only
titles.
the highest production value. So,
Yes.
Graham, thank you so much for
Yeah.
being such uh, a senior director of awesomeness. I am your chief nerd alert, Leader, the Rab. So, thanks everybody. We'll see you on the next episode. And it's been nice talking about nerd and geek stuff on Week's End.
Yeah.
See you, everybody.
Bye.